Okaere nasai, minasan. Nihongo bityo. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys short forms, past tense, negative and affirmative. Today's video, I'm going to be also going over informal speech, formal speech, quoted speech with the short forms, past tense. If you guys have your Genki book, turn to page 210. And if you guys are following along, I'm going to also be showing you guys the pictures too. So what I left off with is the video I showed you guys about right there. And that was like a month ago. And I said in the next video it's gonna be lesson 9, and I didn't do it. I did another video. I did an introduction video. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over lesson 9 for you guys. I'm excited for lesson 9. Of course, you guys can continue to use short forms in your speech and everything, and also lessons everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So kabuki. This is the first story. Mary and Takashi are talking. So first we have Takashi. Mary-san wa kabuki ga suki desu ka? Mary says, kabuki desu ka? Amari shirimasen. Demo, Roberto-san wa amoshiroi, amoshirokata ite imashita. Takashi says, kabuki no chiketo o 2 mai moratta kara. Then he says, Mini ikimasen ka? Mary says, zehi. Isu desu ka? Takashi says, Raishu no mokuyobi desu. He says, 12時から4時までです. This is the first story. Right there. I'm going to read you guys the English translation now. Mary, do you like kabuki? Kabuki in Japanese is a traditional Japanese movie theater. Mary says, kabuki? I don't know it well, but Robert said it was interesting. Takashi says, I got 2 tickets for kabuki. So would you like to go see it? Mary says, sure. When is it? Takashi says, on Thursday next week from 12 noon to 4. This is the second story during intermission at Kabuki Theater. Mary says, Kirei deshita ne. Takashi says, Deteru hito wa mina otoko no hito desu yo. Mary says, Hontou desu ka? Takashi says, tokoro de mou hiru gohan o tabemashita ka? Mary says, iie, mare tabete imasen. Takashi says, じゃあ買いに行きましょう. That is the Japanese one right there for number 2. Make sure you guys can see that clearly. And number 2 English reads as follows. Mary says, it was beautiful. Takashi says, the people who appeared are all men. Mary says, really? Takashi says, yes. By the way, did you already eat lunch? Mary says, no, I haven't eaten yet. Takashi says, then shall we go to buy lunch? The third story reads as follows. At a concession stand, Takashi says, Sumimasen, o bento o futasu kudasai. Futasu kudasai. Mise no hito says, hai. Takashi says, sore kara ocha o hitosu to kohi o hitosu. Mise no hito also says, 2100 yen desu. どうもありがとうございました. This is the third story. And the third story in English reads as follows. Takashi says, excuse me, 2 box lunches please. Vendor says, here you are. Takashi says, and then 1 tea and 1 coffee. The vendor says, that is 2,800 yen. Thank you very much. And this is the vocabulary used throughout the 3 stories, and the vocabulary we're also going to be using in the short forms too. So I'm also going to read them out for you guys too, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to show you guys this list. Okay, so the first words are nouns, and we have tango, which is word or vocabulary. Sakubun is essay or composition. Shiken means exam. Tegami means letter. Meru is email. Guitar is guitar. Piano is obviously piano. Concert is concerto. Ticket is chiketto. And kabuki is kabuki, traditional Japanese theatrical art. Suki means ski, not suki as in to like, but ski as in snow ski. Box lunch or bento, pretty sure you guys done heard that a few times before. Pizza is pizza. Illness or sickness is byoki. Medicine is kusuri. Good child is iko. Color is iro. Near future is kondo. Last month is sengetsu. Last year is kyonen. And of course, this is all the nouns right here. I'm going to show you guys once again. Those are the nouns. That's the nouns part. Now these are e adjectives. We have aoi, which is blue, akai, which is red, kuroi is black, shiroi is white, sabishi is lonely, wakai is young. Aoi, akai, kuroi, shiroi are all colors. Iro. You also have chai iroi and ki iroi, which are yellow and brown, but they're not here. You also have kin iroi and gin iroi, which are silver, gray, and gold. So with the na adjectives or ijiwaru, I'm gonna show you guys that. There's only one na adjective, that's why I read it along with the e adjectives. In the u verbs, to dance, odoru, something ends. Now this is gonna be almost the same thing as like hajimeru, but it's different because this starts and ends in a natural process, not something you got to start up. It's like photosynthesis that starts in a natural process. So this will also end in a natural process. You would use owaru. To take medicine is kusuri onomu. To be popular is ninki ga aru. Something begins. Like I said, it's going to be hajimaru. Now, you might have heard this before, but that's hajimeru. Hajimeru is to start or begin something. Not naturally, but just starting it. Something begins naturally would be hajimaru. To play a stringed instrument or piano is hiku. To get something from somebody, a person, you would use ni, the particle ni, and for a thing you use the particle o. And this is going to be morau. That's going to be u verbs. I'm going to read the ru verbs with it too because there's only two new ru verbs. To memorize is going to be oboeru, and to appear, to attend, that's going to be one of the definitions. And number two is to exit, and that's going to be deru. Irregular verbs, to exercise is going to be undo suru. To take a walk is going to be sanpo suru. Adverbs and other expressions you're going to be using, like kind of like slang sometimes. These are it right here. So, I think so. Kara, from. Kara has many different meanings, but do not worry about this. Just worry about this kara right now. It means from. To, a place or a time is going to be made. By all means, zehi, by the way, tokoro de, all, mina, already, mo. I'm also going to use the numbers for you guys too. This is used to count small items. Hitosu, futasu, misu, yosu, isu, musu, nanasu, yasu, kokonosu, and to. I'm going to show you guys that too. Now, that's all the vocabulary. Now to the main part of the video, past tense short forms. I'm going to make sure I go over this clearly because sometimes this can be confusing, especially when trying to conjugate them. So, here we will learn the past tense paradigram or short forms with 4 parts of speech and 2 parallelities. There are 8 forms in the chart, but you need to learn only 3 rules. So, the verbs are here for te form in it. Te and de are replaced with ta and da. I'm going to show you guys an example of that in a minute. Number 2 are e adjectives. Replace the e with kata. You may also think of this in terms of dropping this from the long form, which is normally conjugating it. Number 3 is non-adjectives and nouns. Replace the long form with deshta, ending with data. Negotiation, right? Nai conjugates as an e adjective. Okay. Therefore, for all categories, you can replace the last nai with nakata. So nai is also negative, right? So I'm gonna give you guys an example. Taberu, tabeta, and then you have tabenai. You replace it with tabenakata. This is the chart right here. So we have the past affirmative and we have the past negative. I'm gonna show you guys the verbs, e adjectives, non adjectives, and the noun plus the des. So this is tabeta, and it says compare with tabete. And you guys, the te form, you guys can sing the song, right? You can say atemasumate. Anything that ends with te ends with ta. Like yonde, nde will end with da. So right here we have tabeta, and it says compare with tabete. Yonda compare with yonde. E adjectives, kawaii kata, because it's an e adjective, you replace the e with kata. So we have kawaii kata desu. E na adjectives, shizuka datta. We have shizuka deshita. For nouns plus des, we have gakusei datta, gakusei deshita. For the past negatives, these are negatives now. We have verbs, yomanakatta, yomanai. E adjectives. Remember, negotiation, nai conjugates as an e adjective. Therefore, for all categories, you replace the last nai with an akata. E adjectives. Kawaii kunakatta, kawaii kunai. Na adjectives. Shizuka janai kata, shizuka janai. Now plus this. Gakusei janakatta, gakusei janai. I'm gonna show you guys the chart right there, because that chart is going to be very important. It's just like the last chart when I first introduced you guys to short forms, past tense short forms, and informal speech. The ones I talked about at the beginning of the video, informal and formal speech and quoted speeches. So short form predicates in the past tense can be used in the same way as the present tense forms, which we discussed in lesson 8. Note that the question particle ka is dropped in informal speech because you're normally talking like to your friend or family member. So this will be an informal speech right here. Kesa, asa gohan a tabeta. Did you have breakfast this morning? You can either say tabeta, which means yes I did, or you can say tabenakatta. Now remember, tabeta, the negative is going to be tabenai. Anything with nai is an e adjective and it gets replaced with nakata. So this would be tabenakatta. Unlike da in the present tense, data is not dropped in informal speech. I'm going to read that again. Unlike da in the present tense, it's not dropped. Data is not going to be dropped in informal speech. So I'm going to read an example for you guys. Senshu wa isogashikatta. Were you busy last week? You could either say, you could say isogashi kunakatta. This is a cat just ran over here. Anyways, isogashi kunakatta. Hima datta. No, I wasn't. I had free time. I'm sorry for the noise in the background, guys. You might hear some dogs barking or something. It's because I'm outside. My bad, guys. Past tense short forms and quoted speech, which is to omoimasu, and omo means to think in Japanese. As in the present tense, you use the short form in the past tense with to omoimasu, I think, to report what you think took place in the past. So I'm gonna read the sentence. This is A. Watashi no tonkatsu ga nai. Hey, my pork cutlet is gone. And the person in B says, Tamo-san ga tabe to omoimasu. I think Tom ate. So, and then this sentence says, I don't think last winter was very cold. This says, Kyonen no fuyu wa amari samuku nakatta to omoimasu. I'm gonna show you guys that, the informal speech, in the next page for the informal speech. And this is the next page for it, basically kind of going on to the next page. So, past tense short forms and quoted speech. To iteimashita. You know, iu means to say. If you heard somebody utter a sentence in the past tense, you can report it with the short form past tense with to iteimashita. So Yasmin said that she didn't have lunch, and this is a very long sentence, honestly. It says Yasmin-san wa hiro gohan o tabenakatta to omoite imashita. I'm gonna read that a little slower. So we have Yasmin-san wa hiro gohan o tabenakatta to ite imashita. Yasmin said that she didn't have lunch. Yasmin also says hiro gohan o tabemasen deshita. Now that's not short because deshita is the normal past tense. So then Mary down here says Yasmin-san wa hiro gohan o tabenakatta to omoite imashita. Basically says the same thing. She didn't have lunch. So I'm gonna show you guys that right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alrighty. So now we have some practice on the next page. So right here we have, note that Japanese does not have the sequence of tense rule, and the tense of the original utterance is preserved when it is reported. If you are reporting somebody's utterance in which the present tense is used, you must also use the present tense inside the quote. Thus, if your friend Yasmin said ima bangohan o tabete imasu using the present tense, your report will have bangohan o tabeteru in the present tense rather than bangohan o tabeteita in the past tense. So I'm gonna read the English version first, of course. Yasmin said that she was having dinner. Yasmin-san wa bangohan o tabeteru to ite imashita. Now this is qualifying nouns with verbs and adjectives. This is gonna be the last one. This is gonna be the last one before I show you guys practice and kata, because the other version of kata is also important because explanation in the situation. So qualifying nouns with verbs and adjectives. I'm pretty sure you guys probably already even know how to do this. So the following table shows various forms of noun modification. The phrases in the left qualify the noun hito, person, to their right. Example 1 is a straightforward adjectival modification. Example 2 contains a phrase describing a person's attribute, lesson 7. And example 3 has a na adjective with a grammatical object, lesson 5. Example 4 has a verb in the short form, lesson 8. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the examples. Example 1 is omoshiroi. Then it says hito, a person who is interesting. Omoshiroi hito. We have kami ga nagai hito, a person who has long hair. Kami ga nagai. A person who likes cats. Neko ga suki na hito. Then we have here megane kakeru teiru hito, a person who wears glasses. Megane o kakeru teiru. Kaketeiru. Megane o kaketeiru hito. Here we focus on a verb plus teiru. Focus on a verb plus teiru, which is very frequently used in noun modifiers, describing people on the basis of their current actions and states. Which one is Yui? We have Yui-san wa dono hito desu ka? Yui is the one who's reading the book over there. Now we have asoko de hon o yondeu suru. Does not say suru. I'm sorry, guys. Yondeiru hito desu. The student taking pictures over there is Robert. Asoko de shashin o teieru. Gakusei wa Roberto-san desu. And of course, over here, I'm gonna read this to you guys right here. Explanation, kata, situation. I'm also gonna show you guys a picture of this right here because this is very important, man. These charts are very important. So next is gonna be explanation, kata, situation. So right here we learned in lesson 6 that kata added to a sentence means because. Also from the vocabulary I just read to you guys, it also means from. That's why kata is like a lot, and that's exactly why I want to try to explain kata as best as I can to you guys. We learned in lesson 6 that kata added to a sentence means because. So it says 朝ごはんを食べませんでした。忙しかったですから. You can put these two sentences into one by moving the explanation plus kata to the beginning of a sentence. So you want to put your explanation and kata at the beginning of the sentence before you say the other one. So it can basically be one and not two sentences, for which the explanation is offered. The resulting order of elements resembles that of a therefore sentence more closely than that of a because sentence in English. And I'm also going to show you guys this mo masta and made teimasen. I want you guys to practice that on your own. So now I'm going to give you guys some examples of kata, of course. So right here we have, I will study this evening because we will have an exam tomorrow. I'm going to read this slowly for you guys. Ashita shiken ga aru kara. You see how we put the explanation first in kara, so it could be one sentence. And then we have konban benkyou shimasu. Ashita shiken ga aru kara. Konban benkyou shimashita. Benkyou shimasu. So we didn't go out because it was cold. Samukatta kara. Then we have dekakemasen deshita. It was cold, therefore we didn't go out. Before the conjugation kara, you find both the long and short forms. Thus, the kara clauses in the above examples can be written as ashita shiken ga arimasu kara and samukatta desu kara. The long form before kara is more light and is frequently found in request and suggestion sentences. Let's go to see kabuki. I have tickets. Kabuki no chiketo ga arimasu kara. Issho ni mini ikimashou. Right here, now I'm going to show you guys some practice that I want you guys to practice on your own, because I want to see you guys got it. Of course, if you guys have any questions, if you even made it, if you made it to this part of the video and you actually been watching, guys, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing more of these, and the next one is going to be lesson 10. So I'm going to show you guys this. And of course, if you guys have the book, you guys can just return back to here, back to the chart if you guys are struggling, and go back to page 214 and flip back to page 219 if you have to. If you guys still have questions between tabeta and yonde, I'm going to show you guys the practice now. But for the most part, just compare it with te form, and whatever one it corresponds with. Te is ta, de is da, nai is kata, nai is nakata. My bad. This is also a formal speech for practice. This will be practice with a partner. I'm not going to read this because I want you guys to practice this right here. We also have more practice and more practice. So I'm going to skip all the way to the end because the rest is just practice. I want you guys to do these practices on your own if you have the book. By the way, so you won't get confused, lesson 9 for these practices ends on 2:30. So I'm going to get into these. These are basically traditional Japanese culture. I'm going to read through these right quick. Kabuki, of course, you guys already know that means traditional Japanese theater. And so we have bunraku. This is puppet theater. Koto is a traditional string instrument. Mask musical is no. Kyogen is traditional comic theater. Rakugo is humorous storytelling. Sumo is sumo wrestling. Judo is judo. Kendo is Japanese fencing. Ocha Kido is tea ceremony. Ikehana Kado is flower arrangement. Shodo is calligraphy. And of course, the rest of the colors are this. I'm going to show you guys this in a minute and this page at the same time. These are two kinds of words for colors. We have group 1, E adjectives, right? So we have kuroi, which is black, shiroi, white, akai, which is red, aoi, which is blue. Now we have ki-iroi, which is yellow, and cha-iroi, which is brown. These words become nouns without the E, which is, I'm going to read an example, red bad. Akai kaban, I like red the best. Aka ga ichiban suki desu. Group 2 is nouns. Now we have midori, which is green, purple, which is murasaki, navy blue, which is kon iro, gray, which is hai iro, light blue is mizuiro, gold is kin iro, silver is gin iro, pink is pink, orange is orange, beige is beige. And now these words need no in order to make noun phrases because they are not adjectives, right? So, because they are nouns, noun modification. So, green sweater, midori no seto, green sweater. Here are some words related to colors before I end off this video. Kao ga aoi desu ne, black and white picture. Shiro kiro no shashin, green light. Ao shingo. And that completes today's video. I didn't want this video to be this long, but I really wanted to get my point across for lesson 9 because lesson 9 is very important. Because we're basically going over like short forms again, and it's basically going to help your grammar. So, and I also want you guys to know the apps I use sometimes. Well, not sometimes. Right now, I'm using Todai, and I'm also using Sotori Reader. These are the apps I'm using for reading comprehension. Don't try to learn kanji too fast, and don't try to learn that by flashcards. You want to learn most of your kanji by reading, because when you learn your kanji by reading, that means you're gonna also understand it, just coming across it. Also, pick up your vocabulary, too. When you pick up your vocabulary, you start seeing the kanji, and then you say, wait, I thought I knew that, but you didn't know the kanji reading for it. When you continue to read your kanji, then that's when you're gonna start picking up reading even faster. And you can shorten your sentences by using kanji too. So that'll be it for the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'm gonna go and study lesson 10 now so I can make this video for you guys tomorrow. Also, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, again, 1,000 subscribers. I should reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year if I continue to post every single day, and you guys continue to like and subscribe to boost me up. JV is out. Peace.